So here we go. What are the pros of the FIRE movement? Well, the first pro is having more flexibility with your time. People who retire early, they have nothing but time on their hands. If you retire at 35, 40 years old, you have nothing but time on your hands statistically, right? There's no telling when we'll all be off of this earth, but you have nothing but time. You have so much time to do all the activities that you always wanted to do. You have all of the time to spend with your family and your friends and to be able to do the things you always wanted to do, go the places you always wanted to go. And obviously, if you are a FIRE movement individual, you likely have the money to do some of these things as well. And so you have created a lot of flexibility for yourself when it comes to time. You can choose to do just about anything that you want to do with the time you have left. And this is a blessing and a curse, and we'll look at why here in a moment. But if you have more flexibility with your time, just think about how much of a difference you can make in the lives of others. Think about how you can give your time for others. Think about how you can use your time to speak into the life of your family members and your friends. Think about how you can use your time just having fun, enjoying yourself, doing all the things you always wanted to do. The FIRE movement provides you with that flexibility and provides you with a lot of undisturbed time that you can use as you move forward in your life. So that is a huge benefit of the FIRE movement. The next pro is that you can build a meaningful, passion-filled life. So given that you have more flexibility with your time, right, what the FIRE movement allows you to do is to decide what you're passionate about and go after that thing. Because even though we are retired, right, at 35, 40, 45 years old, that doesn't mean that we can just sit on it or that we should just sit on it, right? We should go out and find what we are passionate about and do that thing, right? You can live a meaningful life. You can do things that are meaningful and things that you care about. And you can do it for little or no money and be able to still live the life that you've always wanted to live, because that is a big dilemma that we all come across in our financial lives in most places, because a lot of people want to do something that they're passionate about. The problem is that either what they're passionate about is not hiring, they don't have the skills for the things that they're passionate about, the thing that they're passionate about doesn't make enough money, and so they're afraid to leave something that's really good and paying them really well to go to that thing that doesn't pay as well. Or maybe the thing that they're really passionate about is really volatile and has a lack of job security, so they don't want to go into that field if they think that they could lose that job. But the FIRE movement takes all of those things away. If you are living a true financial independence, retire early lifestyle with that type of mindset, then you are not necessarily worried about anything getting in the way of you being able to fulfill your passions, to do the things that you're passionate about, right? If you've always wanted to do mission work, if you and your family feel called to do that, then guess what? You can go do that. If you've always wanted to learn a new skill, do something new, do something that you've never done before and take the time in order to learn it, then guess what? You can do that if you are passionate about that thing. And so you can begin to build a meaningful life in a way that maybe while you were in the workforce, while you were working 9 to 5, while you were doing things on somebody else's schedule that you could not do. And so the FIRE movement provides this for you, and this is a big positive when it comes to the decision making of, should you be a part of this FIRE community, this FIRE movement, or should you not? But it sounds like something that would really drive people into this movement in droves. Now, another pro of the FIRE movement is that the FIRE movement requires that you live below your means. And I know that we have talked a lot about living below your means when it comes to the financial action plan, when it comes to getting out of debt, when it comes to saving money, when it comes to investing for your future. And so I know we've talked about living below your means, but in order to be a part of this FIRE movement, in order to do this financial independence, retire early thing, then you have to be extremely frugal. Right? You have to really flex your frugality, because the ability to save, 50+% of your income in order to retire at a very early age is, it's hard to come by. It's hard to come by that ability. And that ability comes from learning to live below your means and learning to do so in radical ways. Whereas most people of working age, they have this lifestyle creep, right? Lifestyle creeps up on them. They want to, as they're making more money, they want to drive nicer cars. They want to live in bigger homes. They want to, buy nicer clothes. They want to do all of these things as their income is increasing. And subsequently, they're not increasing their long-term wealth building. They're not increasing what they are going to need to live on later on. But people who are in the FIRE movement, as they make more money during their working lifetime, and I mean, during their 9 to 5 lifetime, then they have to get to a point where, as they're making more money, every extra dollar that they have is being thrown into savings, into investing for their future. And this is a great trait to have, because once you retire early, then the whole point is, do I have enough money in order to sustain myself for the rest of my life? Do me and my family have enough to where I can still live and live comfortably and not worry about running out of money? Well, a good trait of somebody who won't run out of money in retirement is frugality, right? Is living below their means. And if you can already do so in a radical way, and you've already really bought into that ideology, then it's not likely that you get into retirement and then blow everything that you have. So that is a big pro, and it's a characteristic of people in the FIRE movement, but it is a pro of what you must become, or what you do become as you are a part of this movement. You do become more frugal. You do become somebody who is willing to live a financially free lifestyle, because you are actually putting all the things in place that I talk about in the financial action plan all the time. And then lastly, a pro of the FIRE movement is simply less stress, right? BlackRock, they did a survey and they said money is one of the leading worries for many Americans, and gaining enough wealth to comfortably live without working would thus wipe out a major cause of stress, which could lead not only to more enjoyable lives, but healthier lives as well. And so to decrease your stress, to not have to worry about where your next dollar is coming from, to not have to worry about saving money for your kids' college, to not have to worry about saving money for retirement, to not worry about, do we have enough money to do X, Y, Z, is a huge deal. And the FIRE movement provides that, because the way that this should work, the way it should work when you get into early retirement, is your nest egg should be creating a certain amount of income or a certain amount of growth every single year that you can live off of that growth and never lose the nest egg, and hopefully even grow the nest egg a bit over time. And if you can comfortably do that, then there is no longer a worry about money. There's no reason to stress about money, because the golden goose, per se, is constantly laying the eggs, right? The eggs being your income, and that golden goose being the nest egg that's constantly laying these new eggs, constantly providing these new eggs, this new income into your life. And you can continue to do the things that you want to do and live with very little stress as you move forward. Now, this doesn't mean that you can live haphazardly. Doesn't mean that you can live without a plan, because part of the FIRE movement is the fact that these individuals live well within a plan, well within their means, and they will continue to do so. But you can live with far less stress that you're not going to have money to do the things that you want or need to do in your financial life.